Hello friends, it's Tanya and I'm back with another Crafty Friends blog hop. This month we are featuring Gina K Designs, so you can get 20% discount when you purchase on the Gina K Designs website through one of us on the Crafty Friends blog hop. Be sure to use the code CraftyFriends20 at checkout, and this sale is only good August 20th and the 21st of 2020. Today I am using a bunch of Glitz glitter gel. Here I've got a whole collection. This is red velvet, sweet mango, gold, green grass, turquoise sea, wild lilac, bubblegum, white, and black. And she has a few more colors that I don't have yet. She also has a sunshine stencil. I don't happen to have that one, but it's very similar to this one, which is the sun background stencil from Hero Arts. And I'm going to create a rainbow of Glitz glitter gel all the way around this stencil. I started with red velvet, and this is sweet mango. And I am letting them blend a little bit between. This is the gold. This one I must not have used a whole lot because it's not dry. It's not drying out yet. Some of mine have gotten a little dry, so I can add a little bit of water and stir that in. I did do that with the red velvet. I think I ended up doing it with a couple of the colors. This one's green grass. I'm trying not to get the Glitz glitter gel in the center of the card panel, and this is going to be an A2 size card, or 5 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But this panel is 4 inches by 5 1/4 because I want a little bit of matting around this. This is the turquoise sea, and this one I should have added a little water to because it was a little dry. This is the wild lilac. We're almost all the way around. I love how these will layer together a little bit and blend into each other. I wasn't too worried about mixing colors in the pots. If I had just a smidgen of another color in it, I wasn't too concerned. If you are concerned about that, you can just wipe it all off on a piece of paper towel or something and discard the part that gets contaminated. The big reveal, pull the stencil back. Make sure you go clean your stencil right away. We're also going to use this Essential Circles die set from Spellbinders. Now I don't have the Wreath Builder sets or Wreath Builder tool from Gina K. It's very similar to this. I don't even know where I got that. I'm pretty sure I printed it off of a website somewhere and laminated it. But Gina K Designs has beautiful tools to do this wreath building. And it comes in several sizes. I'll have that linked in the description box below. The magic of these tools is that you take a small image and you put it on your MISTI and you just keep turning the paper to create this wonderful wreath. You can take any image to do this. I've done this before with a homemade jig. And I think I am finally going to break down and buy the Gina K Wreath Builder set. It has some additional features that this does not have. Plus the edges will be nice and square. Mine are not. So I am using one of the collaboration stamp sets from the Stamping Village. And Gina K Designs is part of the Stamping Village. Usually the Stamping Village stamp sets also are used as a fundraiser for a charity that the group feels is needy enough for them. Okay, rephrase, not needy enough, but that they feel is a worthy cause. I don't remember what the charitable cause was for this stamp set, but if you go check it out, it's available on all of the Stampin' Village companies' websites, including Gina K's. So now that we've created this wreath, I'm going to take some Copic markers and I'm just very simply going to color these in. I'm using just a variety of reds, and I don't think you have to be particularly cautious about it. I'm using a single color for each one. Now I'm going to use this so it's a carved pumpkin stamp pad that's re-inked with spiced marmalade. This is the infamous stamp pad from my grandson, who I continue to use this, and I continue to use that stamp pad. I love it. And I did it over a piece of cardstock in a yellow that I'm not terribly fond of. Still trying to use that up, but it blends well with this particular ink color. And this is going to be the center of our wreath with our sentiment on it. I believe it says, "You are the best." So I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool and my Versamark ink to stamp that on this piece of cardstock that I have inked and spritzed with pearlized water and then dried really well before I tried to heat emboss it. That is Night Shift embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. So what Night Shift embossing powder does is it has like a mica powder in another color. It's a really fine, shiny powder. So you turn it in the light and you get a little bit of another color. This one happens to be gold. I'm going to use my Barely Art Precision Glue, which I still love. I, in fact, bought a second one recently so I can have one. We bought a camper, and we're loving it. And I have the storage space below one of the benches in the dinette that is all for my crafting stuff, and I wanted to have that in there. I'm using some Nuvo Dream Drops in Lemon Twist to add centers to these flowers. And don't be like me. Do this as your last step, because I put these little drops on and I wanted to continue to construct my card. Well, I had to be really careful to not get my fingers in it. You will notice that this particular dream drop picks up the colors of what's underneath them also. So the red flower, it looks like it has a luminescent, a shimmery iridescent, that's the word, iridescent center. So we're going to use coaster blanks on these layers. I didn't die cut this one at all. I just had it cut to 4 by 5 1/4. I know that's rare. I don't usually do that, but this time we did. I think there's a whole lot going on. We didn't need any extra details there. Now we're going to glue it to a card base of, this is the Accent white 100-pound cardstock that I've been getting off of Amazon. Mary Polanco had turned me on to that. It's like $15 for 200 sheets, way cheaper than the, oh gosh, why can't I think of it? Nina Solar White, and it's beautiful. It's good cardstock. So I'm going to take this same sun background, which you could use the Sunshine Stencil from Gina K, and it's almost identical, although that one is a 6x6 and this is like a 4. This is for like a A2 size card. And I use whatever was left on my ink blending brush to add a little bit to the inside of the card. So this time we're going to take that same cardstock that I used for the center of the main image for the front, and we're going to make a panel for a 5x7 card. We are doing 2 cards on this video. And I am using a stencil called Rose Bloom from scrapbook.com. Gina K has a very similar one called Rose Swirl, and that one is also a 6x6. This is a 6x8, but if you wanted to take advantage of that 20% off and get something very similar, I would go for that Rose Swirl stencil from Gina K. And I'm applying some sweet mango just very randomly across this stencil, and it's just going to highlight parts of those flowers and swirls in there. And then I'll just peel that off, again making sure I go immediately to clean that stencil, and then I let that sit and dry. It takes about 20 minutes for it to dry. After it's dried, I use these honeybee stamps, scallop and double stitched A7 dies to cut out a couple of panels, and I just do white. We're doing a 5x7 card base. We're going to glue the scallop version on first, And then we're going to glue on this stenciled and die cut with a double stitched rectangle die. We'll glue that on quick, and we'll take that same center image that I'd done on the previous card, because I made 2 of them, and we're going to glue that to the front of this card also. One more step before this is done. See, this is where it would have been good that I hadn't just put the Nouveau drops on there, because I couldn't put a heavy thing on top. Again, just using the stencil that we used on the front to add a little detail to the inside, and that finishes up this card also. Both cards are glittery. This one is much more subtle. This one is in your face rainbow happiness. I hope you like those. Tell me which one you like better. Do you love this rainbow array of full-on glitter with all of the flowers sort of coordinating with the rays around the card base? Or do you like the more subtle image in the background of this floral garden style with just little highlights of glitter? Sometimes glitter can be a little over the top, but we all love it. We just do. Shimmer and shine brightens our day. Don't miss your chance to get 20% discount on the Gina K designs. There will be a link in the description box below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Follow me in my various social media accounts. And thank you to everyone who does use my affiliate links. I appreciate it so very much. Everybody stay safe, happy, and healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.